Hey, Miss Marissa, someone said you sounded like an owl.
Who?
Knock, knock. Who's there? Who? Who? Hey, are you an owl?
Yes.
Hey, owl, why did you say tweet, tweet?
Because I didn't give a hoot.
The book I wanted to share with you all today is called Bird Count. It is written by Susan Edwards Richmond and it's illustrated by Stephanie Pfizer Coleman. And part of the reason I wanted to share this with you is because there really is a thing called a bird count. And I'll tell you more about that in a little bit in case you and your family want to participate in that too. But it's a real thing. And I'll share that with you in a little bit. Bird count. Well, let's see. When do you think they're going to count the birds in this book? If you guessed winter, you are correct. Bird count. I shake Mom in the dark. Wake up, sleepyhead, it's bird count day. One Sunday each winter we take part in a bird census called the Christmas bird count. On this day we go out and count every bird we see or hear. Mom says helping with the bird count makes us citizen scientists. Citizen scientists are ordinary people who do real science research. We aren't the only ones either. Today, from the far north of Canada all the way down to Antarctica, people are counting birds. Bundle up, Ava, Mom says. It's cold outside. I find my fuzzy hat and my warmest coat. I'm glad we're not birding in Antarctica. Knock, knock. It's Big Al. He's our team leader. There are 10 teams in our count circle. Each team counts the birds in one area. Our team follows the same route every year. Fields, woods, wetlands, neighborhoods, even the center of town. You never know where you'll find birds. Hey, Ava, says Big Al. What are the rules again? He knows I know them, but he tests me every time. Count every bird you see or hear, I tell him. Make sure at least 2 people see or hear it, and don't count any bird twice. The last one is hard, but we do our best. Did you bring the scientist's most important tools, says Big Al. Mom's got our binoculars. I've got the field guide, and Big Al has a notebook and pencil, but that's not what he means. Our eyes and ears, I say. That's right, said Big Al. It's still dark when we back out of our driveway. I roll down my window and hear an owl. Who's awake? Me too, it calls. We can't see it, but we all hear it, so it counts. Why don't you take the tally today, Ava? Big Al hands me the notebook. I look at Mom and smile. This is my first time. I write Great Horned Owl at the top of the page and make a single mark. Chickadee, a chickadee calls. Good morning. I add it to the list. I'm going to be busy today. And there's her list. 1 great horned owl and 1 chickadee. And they didn't see them, but they could hear them. And more than one person heard them. As the sun comes up, a V of birds flies overhead. Long necks, slow wing beats. Canada geese flying over. I make 4 up and down slash marks and 1 across for a bundle of 5. That's the way to tally, says Big Al. I'm keeping an eye out for a big black bird called a raven. I saw one 2 years ago, but not last year. Big Al says ravens are rare around here. I hope we'll see mine again today. There's her list. She's using Roman numerals to keep a tally. Let's check out this field, says Big Al, shooing us from the truck. It's freezing, but birds don't mind. 8 small birds dip and glide right at us, then veer away. Goldfinches aren't gold in winter, so the color won't help us, but we know them by the way they fly. 1 bundle of 5 and 3 straight marks. A bigger bird jumps to the top of a bush. I lose sight of it for a moment, then it flaps away in a flush of gray and white. Mockingbird markings, but Mom and Al missed it, so it doesn't count. Nothing flying right now, Big Al observes. We scan the tree, looking for familiar shapes. Tallest oak, Mom whispers. 2 o'clock. Big Al and I read the tree like a big clock face, with noon at the top and 6 at the bottom. There it is, a big bird of prey with its feathers fluffed up. Its back is brown, its belly white. 1 red-tailed hawk. See, they're looking at the tree. And if that were a clock, this would be midnight, 12 o'clock, and then 1, and then 2. Let's find its mate, Al says. He and Mom search the other trees, but I stick with the same tree, sure the other hawk is there. I check the tree again. 6 o'clock, I say, close to the trunk. You see it? Good eye, Ava, says Big Al. As we drive to the next stop, I watch the sky out the window. A black bird soars above us. Its wings tilt up in a wide, flat V. It can't be my raven. That's the way a vulture flies. I look hard and see 2 more, higher up and making wobbly circles. Cool, Mom says. Turkey vultures. 1, 2, 3 hash marks. At Weatherby Street, we park and walk down to the marsh. Loud quacks come from the cattails. When we get closer, we see some ducks dipping their heads under the water, looking for food. Splash! 3 other ducks dive out of sight. The dabblers are mallards. Bottoms sticking up. The divers are mergansers. I tally them in our notebook. Everything's quiet for a while, and then we spot a quiver in the tall reeds. A hungry great blue heron stretches its long neck on the lookout for a tasty fish. You see the heron? So there's 2 kinds of ducks, mallard and merganser, and a great blue heron. As we head to lunch, we see a line of cars stop ahead. Big Al stamps on the brake. I crane my neck out the window to look. A flock of wild turkeys blocks the street between Crosby's Gas and Bagel Bin. We count. It's a big number. Whoa, look at all those birds. So I write 17 on the tally page and circle it. While we wait for the traffic to start moving again, we count starlings in the trees. You see up here? I count 11, Mom gets 12, but Al counts 13. I take the average of the 3 and circle the number 12. Do you know how to find the average of a number? Stomachs full, we drive through several neighborhoods. We're looking for feeders where birds gather. Stop, I say. There's one with cardinals, blue jays, juncos. Wait, and isn't that a brown creeper on that tree? Its feathers look just like the bark. You're getting good at this, says Big Al. I see a squirrel and a chipmunk too, but they don't count. And you see we've got blue jay and some cardinals Let's see, another blue jay. Oh, there's some down there. I don't know where the junco is. Oh, there it is. Right there. But they're only counting birds. They're not counting animals like squirrels and chipmunks. Whoosh! A hawk with a striped tail dives at the feeder. The small birds scatter. They came to eat seeds, but the larger bird came to eat them. That's one Cooper's hawk for us. That is big. A big black bird wasn't scared away. It hops across the yard. Is that my raven? Caw, caw. A crow, not a raven. Ravens make a croaking sound. I pointed out to Mom and Big Al. Every bird counts. On Horseshoe Lane, houses hide deep in the woods. Someone reported seeing an ovenbird here last week. Big Al says that ovenbirds usually fly south to Central America before now. As scientists, we need to investigate. We make pishing sounds to bring out the ovenbird. Pish, pish, pish. We don't see an ovenbird, but we do hear a downy woodpecker's rat-a-tat-tat on a trunk. Several little chickadees cock their heads at us. We're miles from our last chickadee, so these go on the list too. Psh, psh. Still no ovenbird. We hear a sound like a cat's meow. Then we see it, a gray bird with a flicking tail. It's a catbird. So we didn't get to see an ovenbird, but there's the rat-a-tat-tat, the downy woodpecker, and there's some little chickadees. Chickadee, chickadee. And then way up here, it waggles its tail like a cat and makes kind of a cat meow chirping noise, and that's the catbird. Back on the road, I see movement in Kirkabit Farms fields. Geese in the corn stalks. Count 'em, says Big Al. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh-oh, says Mom. That's the same number as our flying flock. They probably landed here. No hatch marks this time. We already tallied these geese. Big Al points to a gray and white bird. Look, Ava, he says, there's your mockingbird. This time it counts. As the sun sets, we pull into my school parking lot. Behind rows of buses are trees full of birds. They're like cutout shapes against the sky, but we can hear them. Cedar waxwings chittering, mourning doves coo-hooing, robins singing cheerio, cheerio, cheerio. I see a big black bird flap to the ground. Looks like a crow, but quack, quack, it cries. That's it, I shout. My raven came back. So you see, they could tell by the sounds and the silhouettes and the sizes what kinds of birds there were. Too dark now to bird, but not too dark for a party. Potluck, hot chocolate, firelight. We meet other teams in our count circle and share what we saw. Big Al gives our tally to the circle chief. She reports for all 10 teams. I love being a citizen scientist. Maybe someday I will go to Antarctica on a bird count. I wonder what birds I'll find there. Look at all those birds they found. And now she gets to have a treat with some toasted marshmallows. And in the back of this book, it has descriptions of the birds that we learned about in this book. And if you want to see photos of these birds, you can go to the Cornell Lab of Ornithology website at www.allaboutbirds.org. The people in this book did a Christmas bird count, and that's a real thing. But there's also a wintertime bird count. And if you want to learn more about that, that's coming up in February. And you can go to the National Audubon Society website and you can find out more about how you could participate if you and your family are interested. Hey, what kind of bird is always sad? A blue jay.
Psst, don't worry. It's just for the joke. I'm really fine. It's okay.
Hey bird, did you hear the story about the peacock? Oh yes, it's a beautiful tail. Here's one of my favorites. It's a little bit silly, but I love it. I love the illustrations and I love the silly story. It's called Shh, We Have a Plan. It's by Chris Houghton. Shh, we have a plan. Look, a bird. Hello, birdie. Shh, shh, we have a plan. Tiptoe slowly, tiptoe slowly. Now stop. Shh. Ready, 1. Ready, 2. Ready, 3. Go! Look, up there. Hello, birdie. Shh, shh, we have a plan. Climbing slowly, climbing slowly. Now stop. Shh. Ready, 1. Ready, 2. Ready, 3. Go! Look, down there. Hello, birdie. Shh, shh, we have a plan. Paddling slowly, paddling slowly. Now stop. Shh. Ready, 1. Ready, 2. Ready, 3. Go! Hello, birdie. Would you like some bread? One, 2, 3. Oh, look. Ready, 1, Ready to, ready for. Run away! Look, a squirrel. Shh, we have a plan. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Hey, Mama, what do you call a bird in the winter? A bird.
Did you know that feathers are not just for flying? I didn't until I looked at this book. It's by Melissa Stewart and the illustrations are by Sarah S. Brannon. I'm going to read some of the words in this book, but you can check it out from the library. And if you do that, then you can read all the words in the book if you want to. Birds and feathers go together like trees and leaves, like stars in the sky. All birds have feathers, but no other animals do. Most birds have thousands of feathers, but those feathers aren't all the same. That's because feathers have so many different jobs to do. And they look very different, don't they? Peacock, swan, red-tailed hawk, blue jay, American bittern, anhinka, cardinal, wood duck, rosy-faced lovebird, and a dark-eyed junco. Feathers can warm like a blanket. Do you remember what bird that is? Yep, that's our blue jay. Feathers can cushion like a pillow. This one's a wood duck, and she lines her nest with the feathers that she plucks for her own body, and they make a cushion for her eggs. Feathers can shade out sun like an umbrella, and this is a tricolored heron that's out in the water in search of food, but the feathers block out reflections from the sky and shade the water, and that way it can find the fish and frogs it wants to eat easier. It's kind of like an umbrella. They can protect the bird's skin like sunscreen. These are red-tailed hawks, and they are out where it is hot and sunny in New Mexico. And that kind of feather protects them from the hot sun, so they don't get birdie sunburn. Feathers can soak up water like a sponge. This one's a sand grouse, and it cools off in the water by soaking up water into its feathers, and then the little babies can suck on the feathers and quench their thirst. And that's the daddy that's doing that. Feathers can clean up messes like a scrub brush. This is called an American bittern, and it cleans up after it eats, and its feathers have little brittle tips that crumble into a powder, and that it can use it to brush away all the dirt and all the slimy fish oil. Feathers can distract attackers like a bullfighter's cape. Here's a dark-eyed junco, and what it does, it has a black and white feathers, and so it can flash the bright white feathers on the outside, and then it turns the feathers and darts off in the other direction. It's like, look at me. And then it hides and flies the other way. Feathers can hide a bird from predators like camouflage. Here's a northern cardinal. And this cardinal is the female. And she is not bright red. She kind of blends in, but that's her camouflage so that she can protect her eggs while she's sitting on the nest. If she were bright red, like the male birds, she'd be easier to see, and the bird eggs might be in danger. Did you know that feathers can make high-pitched sounds like a whistle? I did not know this. When a male club-winged mannequin wants to get a female's attention, he leans forward, raises his wings over his back, and rapidly shakes them. As feathers with ridges rub against feathers with stiff, curved tips, a squeaky chirping sound trills through the air. I did not know that was a thing. Oh, feathers can attract attention like fancy jewelry. Do you know what this bird's called? Yeah, that's a peacock. Isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty that he flips up his feathers and his tail, and then the female bird is attracted to the male with the biggest, most colorful fan of feathers. Feathers can dig holes like a backhoe. This is a bank swallow, and they have little feathers near their feet, and they can scratch out holes. It can, let's see, this one's digging a 2-foot-long tunnel in a stream bank. He pushes the dirt out with his wings, and then the female builds a nest of straw, grass, and leaves at the end of the tunnel. Feathers can carry building supplies like a forklift. Most birds carry nesting materials in their beaks, but not the female rosy-faced lovebird. When she finds grass leaves or strips of bark, she tucks them under her rump feathers and flies back to her nest. She sticks them up in there and they stay, and then she can fly or climb to where she needs to get to go. Feathers can help birds float like a life jacket. Oh, there's a swan, like out on our lake. The swans have pockets of air trapped between their feathers, and the air helps them float. The feathers on this bird help it plunge downward like a fishing sinker. Most birds have a special oil that waterproofs their feathers, but this anhinga doesn't have that. And that's because that way it can sink down under the water because it wants to stay down and be heavy. And that way, can you see what it's doing? Yeah, that way it can get its food. It's crayfish, fish, shrimp. That's in Louisiana. Feathers can glide like a sled. Oh, I bet you know this bird. That's the emperor penguin. And the emperor penguins have tightly packed belly feathers, and it makes for a firm, slick surface. And then they can slide across the ice and snow. And on these ptarmigans, the willow ptarmigans in Alaska, their feathers help them sprint across the snow like snowshoes because they have a thick layer of feathers on top of their toes like snowshoes. And then look, they can walk on top of the snow instead of sinking in. But most of all, feathers can give birds the lift they need to race across the sky. And here's all the different kinds of feathers and their jobs. Philoplume, yep, tiny philoplume feathers help a bird sense its surroundings. Stiff bristle feathers act like eyelashes. Soft fluffy down keep a bird warm. Semi-plume feathers work with down feathers to keep birds warm and dry. Contour feathers cover most of a bird's body, and they give birds its shape and color. And the flight feathers, that's the ones I was familiar with. On the bird's wings, lift it up and move it forward. Flight feathers on the tail help a bird steer and keep its balance. That's a lot of kind of feathers, isn't it? all different colors, shapes, sizes, and uses. And look what we have at the Central Arkansas Library System for you to check out. You want to know what's inside? Don't shake it, it's fragile. Let me show you. It is a bird watching kit with binoculars, which I should probably take. Yeah, see, you would go like this. Have you used binoculars before? Yeah, they're pretty fun. They help you see things that are far away, like when you're looking up in trees to look at birds. And it's also got, there's something else in here. Let's see. Oh, you can clean off the lenses of the binoculars if you need to. And Birds of Arkansas. So if you see a bird on a tree or hear a bird and need to know more about which one it is, you can look it up in this book. Does it cost you anything to check out this bird watching kit? No, the owl is correct. It does not cost you anything. You just bring your library card to your local branch and they will help you get what you need. Have fun watching birds. Just like in the book we read, Bird Count, you can be a citizen scientist. If you're interested, check out birdcount.org. This is how we're going to assemble the bird feather necklace. This is how I decided to make mine. You might make yours a little bit differently, and that's fine because it's art. And there's no right or wrong way to create when you're making your own piece of artwork. So here's what we're going to use. And you should get all these supplies in the grab and go kit that you can pick up at the Maumelle Public Library. We are not able to give you a hole punch, and we're not able to give you tape or glue, but hopefully you have those things around your house. If you don't, you can ask your grown-up to help you find them. First, we need to take our 2 circles and we need to put our feathers inside the circles. You can get some tape. And tape them in there like that. My tape was too long. There. Okay. All right. So if you go this way, it looks like that. It looks like this. Like that. Then we need to get our glue in our other circle. Whoops. We're going to make a feather sandwich. So it goes circle, feathers, circle. Okay, so it looks like that or that. And then you can decide where you want to put your bird sticker. If you want it on the blue side, the other side, you might have a red circle that came in yours. There's different colors that came in the different grab and go kits. I'm going to put mine on the blue side, like that. If you wanted to, at this point, you could get some crayons or markers or colored pencils and decorate it some more. Or maybe you have some washi tape or some other stickers you wanted to put on. And I want that to be the top of my necklace. I'm going to go there. Woo! Okay. And if you want, there's two ways you can string a necklace. One is to just go traditional way and just string it right through like that. If you want to be a little fancier, you can do a slip knot. And to do that, you take your yarn and fold it in half. And you take this loop part and put that through the hole. So then on one side of your necklace, it looks like that. And the other side, it looks like that. And you take both of these and pull them through that loop. Okay. Whoops. Here. And then you just gently pull on it. It goes like that. It makes a slip knot. All right. Then we have some beads to put on our necklace. If you have a hard time putting beads on your necklace, you could get a little bit of tape, or a grown-up could do this, and put it on the end. Like that, and it makes it more like a needle, and it's easier to put through. So I'm just gonna string that on. Whoops. You could maybe make a pattern if you want, or if you had different beads at home, you could do that. And you'll probably get some different color beads than what's here. So there's one side, and I decided I wanted the same number of beads on both sides of my necklace. I'm gonna put a little more tape on there. So the number of beads will be symmetrical. The colors won't be. So you might want to do that too. Okay, whoops, got stuck. Okay. So there is my bird necklace. And then you can get a grown-up to help you tie the ends together. Oh, here, let's do a square knot. So you do square knot, you go left over right. Whoops. And right over left. And then when you pull it, there, we use two kinds of knots. We use the slip knot down here, and we use the square knot up there. And there, oops, there is our bird necklace. Tweet, tweet. Hey, Miss Marissa, someone said you look like an owl.
Who?
We should leave it there. Okay, do it again. Ready? Okay. Hey, Miss Marissa, someone said you sounded like an owl.
Whew.
Hey, Miss Marissa, someone said you sounded like an owl.
Whew.
Can we do that just once? With the feathers? Can you breathe? Okay, one more time. I'll still laugh just as hard. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Stop laughing, I'm gonna inhale a feather.
Oh, don't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Get myself together, put these bad boys back in my mouth.
Okay. Hey, Miss Marissa, someone said you sounded like an owl.
They're too wet.
Oh my gosh. I might have to use that one anyway.
I can get fresh feathers if you want.
No, I think we're good. Is that okay?
My very soggy feathers.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry if you got any feathers on you.
I
Ugh.
don't Okay.
Okay, this isn't like a it is a stick in your hand one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It won't be as funny, but okay.
I'm here for your options, you know.
Okay.
Blooper outtakes.
That's what I'm
Just
thinking.
random clips.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Hey, Miss Marissa, someone said you sounded like an owl.
Who?
Oh, that's good too. Okay. Oh, I got a wet fish stuck on my chin.